What's going on, guys? I am Journey, and this is the third episode of the Journey Pages podcast. Welcome to the show. And today's episode is going to be about the passport bros, man. Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. Well, this whole topic of discussion comes from the fact that the people have been really fed up with just the way how things is going over here in the States. And a lot of people have unrealistic expectations. And there are I'm not going to say the word with masculine energy. I'm not going to go there, but a lot of people act like they got a chip on their shoulder, and got a lot of hatred towards stuff, and fed up, and feel like the world, or they should be given the world without really doing anything. It's unfortunate, but it's a reality, and a reality that we have to look at and address. Whether or not things will get better or not, I can't be able to say. That's not for me to make that determination. Nobody knows what the future is going to give. But one thing I do know and I do recognize is that there's opportunity out there to find somebody that can be proper and good for you. And if it requires you to go outside or at least overseas, then cool, no problem. Unfortunately, it's maybe it should have never been this way. But who's to say? Things been going on for generations, for a very, very long time now. Because a man is looked at, or these people evaluate a man based on how much he has, which doesn't make any sense. You should always evaluate an individual on who they are and not necessarily their resources or their careers and stuff like that. But that's what people look at. And people try to use the excuse, well, I don't want to be in poverty. I want the best for my kids. I want I want somebody with the best genes. All this other extra nonsense that people, this is BS. Because at the end of the day, you you'll find people who don't have the best genetics, for crying out loud, with somebody because individual chose them for money, right? A lot of people do that. When it comes to money, people throw all their moralities and all this extra stuff they was looking for. They throw it all out the window because they see money. Ultimately, this is what this whole thing comes down to: the divorce rates in the United States, people going overseas, like everything for the most part has to do with money. Um, so I don't know what's the answer to all this, but there's nothing wrong with talking about it, right? Now, you look at these celebrities, and maybe one of our downfalls has been the overglorification of celebrities, right? Men do it, women do it. And what we normally do when we hear dialogue, we take the stuff that only we want to hear and we'll amplify it. We'll prioritize that. We won't look at anything else. We'll just look at the things that benefit only us for whatever side of the boat that you sit on. But here's the facts: evaluating somebody on only their resources or financial income is a piss poor, horrible way of just saying, simply saying this: I'm a horrible individual and human being. I'm a horrible gold digging individual. Simple as that. A man only evaluating a woman based on her beauty and her ability to be able to foster kids is a very interesting and very awkward kind of way of looking at an individual. And then those same people end up coming out later on and complaining that, well, she's only really about the money. Like, because I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not really evaluating a person based on who they are as an individual, and you bring that person into your life because you feel as though they look just like the finest thing that you ever seen, and that person ends up being like necessarily a gold digger, like, no, bro, you set that up for yourself. That's your fault, right? We've for a long time understood that women go through a lot, so we always make excuses. We always come up for like a reason that we can do it. Like somebody else might not be able, but we can do it. We can do it. It's always the next guy up looking to be able to do it. And some guys kind of feel like, well, throwing their weight around as far as what money makes them real men. And that's not the case. You'll hear groups of women give advice, whether it's online or other places, and people love to talk about what a real man is, but they would never be a man, right? A lot of men will tell you what a real man would be. But oftentimes, it's a dude that simply just shuts up and let his woman have whatever way she desires, right? Happy wife, happy life. And that's not necessarily a helpful thing. It doesn't foster healthy relationships. It doesn't author, doesn't foster a healthy mindset for the individual. And you see a lot of these guys committing suicide. Well, there you go. And then people end up complaining that they can't be vulnerable around their women. various other different things, and because in part because of certain things that we allowed build itself up over time, right? Build itself. It's compounding, a very big compounding issue. So, what's the real issue about this though? Is that folks won't cave into the nonsense. The real issue is that one group is not getting what they want. The other issue is another group found what they want someplace else. Um, and since this is like a whole new movement thing, I myself have a passport, and it didn't really hit me until a little bit, you know, not too long ago. That yeah, it can be an option. You can find somebody that will be there for you. You can find somebody that's more traditional. You can find somebody that's not, that doesn't evaluate an individual based on money. It's about what you're willing to give, what you're willing to sacrifice, the type of person you are, the type of man you are, stuff like that. Something that's realistic. Like you don't hear from like other groups talking about this is the average man. And I deserve more than the average man or some other nonsense. It's like none of that crap. It's just simply about individuals coming together and seeing a vibing and seeing if everything just works out and just taking it from there, right? And that's all it should be about. That's all anything should ever really be about, right? You don't get involved in a relationship because of somebody's financial income. Don't get involved into a relationship because how beautiful you think somebody is. Like you need to really check deep down what a person is, and that's why you need to spend time getting to learn about a person. Not only that, but all this other stuff that just tends to happen, which is these awkward expectations and just unrealistic visuals of what needs to happen during your first time of like getting introductory phase of getting to know about a person. So like a lot of women operating within a sense of fear as if something is will and potentially can go down. Something can always potentially go down, but that doesn't mean it will. And so, the projection starts and people project things about you about being um whether you being like some kind of predator or whatever the case may be. And when those things don't beat up, like I said, instead of apologizing, like, hey, this is what I thought about you, yada yada, people don't do anything. It's like the weirdest thing. Um, so instead of messing around and trying to figure out what's in a lot of these women's heads, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, you just kind of keep moving, trying to figure out your own pathway and just keep moving along that direction. It's not about whether or not you have your purpose already. As long as you're gradually getting to a place, whether it's emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, whatever that may be for you, or maybe even a combination of everything, as long as you're moving into a pathway, like who is anybody to tell you that you do not deserve to go find somebody for yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like it makes no sense. And at the end of the day, it's the union of another individual is to adopt them and bring them into your life. The same way, vice versa, right? We're sharing our lives together. We're looking to do more than just be single souls anymore. We looking to be a unified essence, a unified being. My desire to want to be with you, to work for you, to put that smile on your face, to give you that kind of sense of security and a roof over your head and do everything within humanly possible to continue to show you that I am a man that's worthy of your time, your effort, your energy. Same thing, vice versa. And that thing, yeah, it's like should be the same thing, vice versa. That she is putting that time, effort, and energy um, by being truthful, sincere, authentic, um, appreciative, and allow you to be vulnerable around a type of person who is understanding, committed, right? Soft spoken. She is elegant, classy, right? She doesn't do the Instagram popping her butt out everywhere, stuff like that. She's not so busy trying to take DMs from multiple people and everything else. She's really focusing on what she can have with you, right? Somebody that feels like a lady, like a really good, sound, genuine lady. What a lot of these people over here in the States do not have at all, right? So think about it. What do you really want for yourself? Where do you want to go? At the end of the day, when you're thinking about something more serious than just a regular relationship, you're thinking about marriage, for instance, because you should be dating with the intention of marriage now. But You go out here and you're trying to find that, and you're thinking about what is it? Being with somebody is a representation. That person is going to be somebody that represents a big part of who you are, right? And will continue to build over time. So when you look at a household, your household needs to represent you, and the person that you need to pick up, look for, should be something that strengthens that bond between you and her, because she might have some things about her, you might have some things about you, but this household that you're going to build together is going to represent the best of you guys. You know what I'm saying? So I need to figure out and find somebody that's going to best represent me and who I am as an individual, right? My household, I want it to be open. I want us to look like we're good, more than just good, decent, genuine human beings. That we take care of each other in hard times. We don't find ways to bail out on each other. Instead, we can't. The harder it gets, the further tightened it we get. You know what I mean? It's a hard thing to find within here in the U.S. that you can go through a hard time and somebody got your back. Because usually over here in the states, you have, let's say in the realm of we got a lot of layoffs going on right now, right? Um, Divorce rates go up. You have, let's say, a depression of sorts. Divorce rates go up. Any kind of financial hardship, divorce rates go up. People don't stick together. They look for excuses to run away. But the one excuse that I do not see for whatever reason is people bringing in children under situations where, anything can happen. People use these excuses all the time that anything can happen. If you know anything can happen, why bring children into that type of situation? Then you hear people say, well, my kids will always be my kids. It's so horrible that people look for every freaking excuse under the sun to not say, I fell in love with this man or this woman or who they were. I love this person. I need this person. I want to make it work with this person. Instead is, you promised me this. You promised me that. I demand this. You know what? Now I want something different. I want something more than what you was giving me prior. You can't give it. I'll find it from another man. If you don't want to act up, I got a lot of other dudes in my DMs, and somebody else. If you won't do it, somebody else will. The fact that people do this to their significant other is just ridiculous to me. And I feel so bad for some people who have to go through this. Like, if you're a type of person and you look to threaten somebody else with that there are other people that will be willing to step up, you have no business being in that relationship with that individual. And that person should be at that point more than willing to look for other means to get out of the current relationship, because that is just, nah, but you're not going to do that. The disrespect is a little bit ridiculous and crazy. So, like, you can't blame people who want to go and find something truthful for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't blame people for that. Now, it'd be different if there were people here willing to be with somebody. But they're telling you they'll rather be alone with the cats, whatever else the case may be. Everybody think they're perfect tens from all sides of the boat. Why? It's such an unnecessary thing to have to keep working through this, to have to keep trying to figure this out. And every woman that you end up talking to, you got to figure out whether or not this person is at least decent, at least have some sanity about her. Like, because you don't know. You have no idea. People live in their own false realities nowadays, right? But whatever happened, it's not truthful. You know what I'm saying? It's not the real thing that actually happened. But everybody's done all the work. They've done all the self-development, self-evaluation, everything else. But they, for whatever the reason, can't present themselves properly. But you as a man have to figure out through all the nonsense to figure out what's going on in her head. And nobody wants to go through all that. So if there is somebody, let's just say there was somebody interested in me, I could tell you how to go about getting me now. I could tell you. And people will still screw it up. One, treat me with respect. Like, know how to greet me. That's it. You just say hello. I mean, just be around me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Talk. Like, actually try to get it interesting, get to know me. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, I never had anybody actually inquire me about my dreams ever. Ever. So, like, you can start with the small things. Well, everybody gotta have, like, it's always gotta be an extra, like it's a crazy stream here or there. So when you're thinking about this, and every interaction that I could think of from just for the entire time I've been single, just the idea that I can be able to go out and get away from the US way of thinking, right? Get away from all this crap and then find somebody who I can actually have a good, like genuine, decent conversation with, oh, I'm cool. Like, yeah, sign me up. I'm good. I got my passport. I'm ready to go. Let's do this thing. Like, who in their right mind want to deal with the idiocy, the buffoonery of just all this other crap that's going on right now? So there's that. So I can't blame them. But you have a situation when individuals do this. I'm gonna tell you this: when a black person goes out, a black man specifically goes out and goes date somebody outside of his race, trust me, they got an issue with that. And it's not really the issue with the other individual; it's the issue with the man himself. Let's talk a little bit about the things that they may say. You're mentally weak. You can't handle the strong, independent black woman. That's the way how these people feel. Self-explanatory. I don't think I need to go too far into that, right? Or the other one, which is you have been intoxicated by the imagery of the white woman that they love to present to you, essentially because they don't really promote black women like that in certain forms of media. They don't promote black people in general in certain forms of media. You, like, for instance, if you're doing video games, you always tend to find how people like, let's say secondary supporting characters, right? And it's really hard to find titles that feature, like a main black character or something like that. So when you're growing up, if you're looking at comics, if you're looking at animes or cartoons, whatever the case may be, video games or whatever, like a lot of kids look up to this stuff. And, they dream, some people want to fly like Superman and different things like that. But you only really got like Black Panther, Blade. I know not too long ago, there was a game came out called Deathloop, featured a black man, black woman. And that was pretty cool. But you really don't get that much out there. So no, but you can't go to a GameStop, go in there and come out with 10 titles that feature a black man on a boxcar cover. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the main character. So usually now, especially nowadays, they supplement and they try to give you that diversity by including the black woman because you kind of killing two birds with one stone. You take care of the woman and you take care of the black, at least the black community, but you don't really focus on the black man at all. So, there's that. And so with that understanding and everything around you is like always for the most part like pretty white, folks feel like that's where your influence will come from, right? Almost as a way of trying to um, warp your mind to get you to dislike your own, which not the case. Maybe some, but I usually tend to find in events where there's like serious stuff that we need to talk about, like the unarmed killing of black men, where people want to be, let's just say, distant experts of the black community and assume money is everything. But then you'll hear from certain groups that'll push certain voices, like Candace Owens, for instance. You will never hear about these people until this stuff starts happening. And then you're like, what? You hear some of the stuff she says. Some could be all right, some other way on the other side. But usually you could probably see a background and maybe, let's say, you don't have to go too far. Like you have no idea about that person. You listen to him, check what her husband is, check the type of side on the boat where she sits on, the Republican, Democrat. You can kind of figure out through those things how people are. You know what I'm saying? Not to say a person is a horrible individual, but it is her, and trust me, there'll be plenty others. But the issues with the black community is a whole different type of discussion. So I had that at some point. But that's the belief, right? And when these individuals go out, so they can't necessarily control that. They can't control or dictate to you no longer on how you need to move. So them, let's just say, screaming at the wind, or I like to say pissing at the wind, has come to a point where they went out and pissed so hard at the wind that the wind came back and took it right back and threw it right back in their faces. So instead, what people do, instead of looking in the mirror and saying, hey, we need to get ourselves together and like maybe this is not the right thing to do. No, people tend to buckle down. And instead, what they'll do is go out on an assault, if you would, an assault on character on other individuals that they have no idea about. So they'll cite, okay, you're going over to mess with these uneducated women. They have no idea. They're just saying it. You're going over to have sex with these women because, well, A1, they're younger. So you can control them because they're uneducated. They're underage. So they have no idea. Then better, they're uneducated. Or the other thing would be is they only want the green card from you because they want to be desperately over here in America. These people have no idea. They don't know. They're pissing at the wind. That's all that is pissing at the wind. What kills me is that there are individuals who look at this stuff and then paint the rest of the community the same light as how some of these burnt females be. And then instead they go on some charade about, no, we're not really submissive. We're we're strong. We can handle on. We could be like independent and stuff like that. Well, and then you're like, take the bait. Why don't you? Like, yeah, they just like, you're getting pissed off about people that don't even care about you at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain things I'm cool with, but some other things make no sense. It's almost like people back at the playground, right? You don't know, like, for instance, people talking about your mama. Like, why get in a fight about somebody who's talking about your mama? They don't even know your mama. They probably just seen your mama. They have no idea about your mama. Now you're sitting up there fighting about somebody you have no idea, that they have no idea, and nobody has no idea. You just fighting because you trying to hold up somebody's honor for no reason, for a clown that have no idea about your own mama. It's like one of those situations. Back then, when you're young, maybe you get understand because you're just young, you don't know no better. But you get older, like somebody talking about your mama, like, bro, you don't even know my mama. What you talking about? Oh, so you just talking crap out your butt. Like, damn. I'm glad you've been thinking about me and my mama so much. Have fun. Think about that when you go ahead and look at the wall, because that's the only person you talk to. Like certain things is like, you got to just think to yourself and just be a little bit smarter. Because a lot of times, especially over here, and you learn pretty quickly. A lot of people are just looking to start a flame, right? But over where I come from, that flame normally gets somebody shot, laying 5 feet under the ground. People sitting up there crying in the morning or whatever the case may be. It's just like, sometimes you got to understand, like, what you really fighting for. If you like, real talk, like, if you're going out and you're looking for love someplace else, well, somebody's doing something right to attract your attention. Don't take away from that. People have no idea, once again, what it means to be submissive and obedient. Submissive is not obedience. Submissive is somebody who's willing to understand, willing to compromise, willing to, let's just say, work to be a part of a team. Men are naturally more submissive to their women than what women are. That's been a fact. Where do you think happy wife, happy life come from? Facts. Right? They these shits so busy trying to camp out, thinking if they hold out, they're going to get what they want, no matter how unrealistic it is. Because men have been normally breaking their backs to try to please these women. But you know what? No more. That's what the passport bro situation is about. No more. No more. Find somebody that's going to treat you right, who ain't going to put you down as a freaking second, third, or fourth option. Find somebody who's going to make you that one option, or if not her only option, right? Be option number one. Or if not, she making you her only option. She ain't looking at other dudes. She's just looking at you. So that's what you got to do. You got to step up. How often you want to find somebody like that? Not often, right? If somebody tells you no the first time, why you want to bring them in the second time? Because she done looked at all her friggin' options, played around, had a lot of fun, then come at you when you get it because she know you're a good dude. Oh, well, I'll keep them on the back burner. I'll keep them on the back burner. Some people already tried that with me. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. Like, don't ever bring somebody back in who told you no initially. Oftentimes what happens with people in a relationship dynamic is just that people don't communicate, right? So I don't know what's going on with you. I can't answer your questions. I can't show you who I am because you're too busy running away. By the time you want to make the decision, you're half-assing it. So I can't figure you out. You know what I'm saying? But you got no problems putting those projections on me and try to treat me as if I'm some kind of criminal. Like, I ain't got time to show you that I'm not. I'm just a cool dude. I want to be about my way and do my own thing. You feel what I mean? That's what I want to do. Whatever happens at that point happens. But that's what people need to be. And so a part of that is that you get the passport. You don't have to deal with it no more. Maybe there's some good women here, but it's so, part of it is just, it's draining. It's mentally, emotionally draining. And for an individual like myself, I'll be having these visions, man. These visions hit me a while ago. And sometimes I catch myself daydreaming or dreaming in sleep. And I'm sitting there, got my coffee in my place, got my kids, my wife, she's making up something you can smell the coffee in my nose. I can smell good food, and I'm looking outside, and you just see the wind brushing against the leaves, and just seeing a nice clear a nice clear sky, and like I'm happy. The only thing about this is I can't hear, I can't see the faces of my loved ones like that. Like it's a blur. Somebody told me it was a message from God, so I've been listening, and it might come at some point. I don't know. I have no idea, but I know one thing. Hopefully, it happens for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I just gotta believe and keep moving and keep progressing because I know I've been doing something right. When you're doing something wrong, he'll let you know. He'll let you know. One way or another, he's gonna let you know. Or you're doing right, you'll be good. And for the most part, I've been doing right. So financially, I feel good. Spiritually, I feel good. Emotionally, I feel good. It's just that I know there's that one thing knocking at me, hitting me in my soul, taking over my brain. And at some point, I got to take care of it. And you can't wait forever because I'm only getting older, right? We only get older. Why we keep playing around and messing around with folks that ain't really, like, ain't even serious? Why you have to deal with somebody else's traumatic experiences when they ain't even yours? When they're not even truthful about themselves, but they so ready to make a projection on you, trying to check for your intentions. You know what I'm saying? What do you want to think about this too? As a man, what you want to leave behind? Sad part, these women over here in the States, they don't care about heaven. They don't care about leaving anything behind. They don't care about nothing. They just want to live it up now and pop bottles from here and there, yada yada, be partying all the time, stuff like that. And I ain't about that lifestyle. But I do want to leave behind something for my children. And I'm also not within the camp of, how do I put this? There's maybe we could talk about this a little later, but there is a thing about dating somebody that is a single parent. There's nothing wrong with doing it. It's just how you go about doing it and relationships and everything else that's involved with it. But you never know who you're going to meet, and you never know who you're going to fall in love with. You never know how good that relationship is going to be towards you, or even bad. And there's no such thing as a surefire one-stop shop for everything. But you have to go through your ups and downs as an individual. And those things are going to make you into who you are. And you're going to share those experiences. But it's important that if you remember, never take somebody that you can't be vulnerable around. If you're so scared to be vulnerable around an individual, why don't you use that as a means of actually testing a person? You don't have to give them your most emotional things, but you can be a little bit vulnerable and share some information. You know what I'm saying? And see if she's either mentally stable enough, mentally how do I say, mentally mature enough to be able to understand that, not judge you on it, not attack you for it, right? When I had expressed my interest to uh to go out, explore a little bit, and do this passport bro thing, I received one of the most nastiest messages I've ever received in my life. It was the most wildest thing I've ever seen. It was just out of nowhere. And sometimes when you think you got good people around you, some things are going to show a lot differently, right? And I was very grateful for that nasty message. And I still remember that nasty message. So remember, it's not anybody can be, nice to you, but you look for people to be good to you. If you find yourself around a bunch of brothers that don't necessarily put that word of encouragement to you, right? You don't have friends. Let's call it for what it is. If you can't be expressive to folks, you don't have friends. You know what I'm saying? Like that's part of the job description. You know what I'm saying? To be encouraging, yada yada. Some people like more toxic environments, and misery loves company. Well, your job is not to be a part of that misery. Let people wallow in their own misery. Let them figure their own stuff out. Let them stay in their own lanes. You need to find a place that makes you feel happy, that you can elevate yourself. And also remember the greatest gift, one of the greatest gifts that you can give to your significant other is the ability to uplift her, to make her feel even more important, to make her feel special. It's not hard to make somebody feel like like they're the only one. You just got to put the time and effort in, right? So, if folks over here talking, so we don't longer set the bare minimum, man. No, 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 no. You got to have a good career. You got to be making over a crazy amount of money. All this other crazy stuff people got going on because they all want to get in bed with Usher or Chris Brown or whatever celebrity they want to get in bed with. Let them do their thing. Let them follow the celebrities. Let them listen to all that talk, stuff like that. There's a reason why a lot of them can't keep their relationships. And there's a reason why a lot of them don't commit their fortunes to people, right? But this prenup conversation keeps coming up and up and up. Some people don't care. They can say whatever they want. They just want to be courted by a lot of dudes. They want to feel that appreciation from a lot of people. And at the end of the day, I'm sorry, I'm just going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it real. I don't want a Will Smith, Jada Pinkett kind of relationship. I'm sorry, I'm not into that. I don't want a Russell Wilson / Sierra relationship. I'm not into all that either. I want something that says, this is mine, and this is a journey family. You know what I'm saying? It's my family. You know what I mean? And we make each other a priority. Like, I'm tired of folks looking at these celebrities and thinking, well, because somebody is financially successful or whatever thing that they're doing, that they are immediately amazing people who don't mess up, who are committed to their relationships. Like, it's the most random thing, and people be bouncing off. People in Hollywood be bouncing all over each other, all over the place. Remember when how long ago some of these people come out? Remember Lizzie Lohan when she first came out, Britney Spears, Shakira, Beyonce. The list can go on and on and on. Think about it. It's like how many dudes be sitting up there fawning? You know what I'm saying? Foaming at the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Talk about what they wish they could. If they had that, they would have been fine. But these people getting these other relationships with these other celebrities, and these people come out more broken than what they came in with. Like, how many people are committed? You know what I'm saying? Emotionally, physically, and spiritually. You know what I mean? People just, messing around dating. And, it's just all over the place. Some folks are, who knows, man? I know a lot of people listen to the Cardi B and to I think the Megan Thee Stallion, whatever the kind of music they got going on. And people just, for whatever the reason, they're so, you wouldn't necessarily look at it as like the work of the devil in a sense, where some of this stuff is almost like witchcraft. It morphs and changes the mind, right? People want these lifestyles, people want these things, and they kind of acting all crazy. And it's like, it's a sad thing too, because there's a lot of good people that's getting transformed. You can't recognize them. You don't even know who they are, right? So to find somebody who has a strong mind and not high maintenance, because high maintenance, where I'm from, usually when you hear people talk about high maintenance, I'm high maintenance. You got to keep up with me. Usually that person can't. Usually that person cheats. You know what I'm saying? They're going to cheat at you at some point. It's just how it is. Usually a chick with a bigger butt. If you wasn't first, if you find yourself second, third, fourth, fifth, or 10th, or something like that, whatever that in that line that you come in at, the previous person or persons probably screwed up so daggone well, mentally, because you was going after the wrong thing. So unless you were first, you have a highly big probability that you're going in with somebody that's completely screwed up in the head, and she has the ability to pretend to be, let's say, the things that you want, but eventually over time she's just going to show herself, and it's going to be like, the new term is like the 304s, right? A chick that gets all over the place, and for guys that do it, you will typically call them pigs or something like that. A lot of people would do that, or dogs. I say crows because they would mess with a carcass if they could. They don't care. A lot of folks have that mentality. But it's a hard thing to say. It's a really hard thing to say. It's just, it's our reality. So, usually a lot of guys don't even settle for that fine chick. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have let's say you basketball player and you end up dating a model of some sorts. Congratulations. Hopefully everything that works out. Congratulations, y'all people. No happy. Happy clap clap. But that's not something I would say for myself. It's like because you can't look back at that person and say if I didn't have all this, you would be here. And that's what love should be about. If everything falls and crumbles, that I know for a fact that this person will be, she's my partner in life. She's my soulmate. And I think a lot of these rich people don't got that at all. Some people might, but usually that's somebody that's been in with them while he was on the come up, or they was projected to have some. So maybe you might have your high school sweetheart, or maybe somebody was around you always since middle school or something like that. But usually you don't see people who become successful get into a certain position and get involved with another celebrity and just stay in that relationship and kept it that way for years and years and years and years. It doesn't work that way. So, like status may mean something, but at the end of the day, real talk to a lot of the gentlemen out there, you need to stop fawning over a lot of these women, man. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of fine women in the world that ain't celebrities. There's a lot of fine people out there. I'm not gonna front. Um, IG will show you that too. I mean, just go out, go to different places, and trust me, Shakira's not the cream of the crop. Beyonce is not the cream of the crop. Like it's just, it is what it is. It all depends on somebody's own personal preference. But I mean, it's reality, right? And beauty's in the eyes of the beholder. So, I always thought to myself that I would go out to Japan when I was younger because I used to watch a lot of animes and stuff like that. And even in other forms of media, they always presented their people as very nice, very sweet, approachable. And even in the animes, it's like you see them girls, like them girls, they go at it. Like they don't go waiting around now. They ain't no, they is not no chumps. They'll pick up their courage. They'll get their letter of confession. They'll find that dude and they'll sit there and bow and hold the piece of paper in their face and like, please go out with me, senpai or whatever. It's like the cutest little thing. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I don't think that really works, but I don't think that goes down in reality. I'm just saying it's pretty cool to see. Pretty funny. And like those people always seem nice and always hear stories. Like, there was an old coworker of mine that told me, like, hey, if you go out to Japan, like they show black people all kinds of love, bro. Like it's amazing how they are over there. But it's like if you find them over here in the States, it's all kinds of different. Like, what happens? It's like a crazy transformation. The only time you see them is either with their own a white person, or if you do see one a black person, it's because they got money. But go out to Japan, they are different. You got to go there. You got to go there. They all kinds of different over there. And so I've been thinking about it for a while, man. I've been thinking about it for a while. I had a friend I went to college with that was pretty. He was fluent in that language, and he went out there to teach for a while. He came back though, but he always told me like, "Yo, if I want to go down, he had a spot for me, ready to go." And I just never could get there. I had so much other stuff going on, trying to take care of family, everything else. I was like, "Dang!" But it's just crazy. It's crazy. You never know. Like, I was trying to study up on it, but I didn't have anybody I could really talk to kind of be expressive about it. And then I thought for the longest that it was either Japanese people or Koreans because that's all I've ever seen, like coming up, Japanese and Koreans. But there's so many others. There's so many others, different types of Asians around the world, and it's so cool to see. It is so cool to see, and that even further expanded my mind. And so now I'm just like, okay, like and not only that, but I feel like my phone's listening to me half the time. Because then when I get into like my IG, all I see is stuff from, let's say, the islands, right? The Philippines and other different things. Maybe it's because of the people I follow, or you see some of the models out from from, let's just, I don't know if it's a DR or wherever the case may be, but like it's cool to see people in other different cultures and even different foods. That's what I want to see, more stuff of foods. And Yeah, like there's just so many fun people out there, but you're not looking for the most beautiful. You're looking for somebody who brings joy into your life. You're looking for somebody you're looking for a good woman, man. That's what you need to be looking for. Somebody that's respectable, somebody that you can believe in, somebody that gives you a reason to feel like to fulfill you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're with her, it makes you feel like, more motivated while you're out there trying to handle your purpose. And when you make that commitment to her, guess what, bro? Like, she's gonna become she's gonna become your purpose as well. You know, a purpose in life isn't not just one thing. Man goes out to do something that he wish he could do, right? But that thing that you wish you could do is something to facilitate to the family that you want to have. And because you found that one, she becomes that purpose. So your life's goal is to make sure that she's happy, she's good, and you have children from that. And so, when people want to have kids and then they make the kids the foundation of everything, I don't believe in that either. I got to start talking about priorities as well. So we'll get into that as well too. But I'm a little bit different with how I believe in my own system for my own household. And that's one thing that if there is somebody that, has an interest in me, she has to understand because I do things differently. Everybody's different. And I got to talk a little bit more about that as well too. But this passport bro situation has been eye-opening, refreshing, and it makes me feel like those dreams that those dreams that I've been having, can at some point one day come to fruition. You know, because you don't have to sit around and wait for people to get their heads together. You can be about your purpose, keep trying to find the thing that make you happy, and understand where how some people treat you, and how some other people treat you, and then I know where I need to lean into. But I always known what I wanted. I known this since I was 15. The only thing that's happened to me throughout time has been a more of an emphasis, a more of a drive to make that happen. Right? Um, I've seen the worst of people. I've seen some good things, but in spite of it all, through the ups and the downs, in spite of folks just making random assumptions about you, whether if you care for your own or not, and the um, the preservation of the black community, for crying out loud, like so many freaking dumb stuff. I just want to have somebody that cares about me, and if somebody was really serious about that, trust me, this passport situation wouldn't be the way it is right now. Like, we don't value people; we value what you have. That's what a lot of communities right now. People value what you have. So, is it possible that a brother like myself can go out and find success somewhere else? Find a real, genuine, authentic situation and just let things happen naturally. Take the time we need, pay attention to each other, uplift one another, be there for each other when we're both not both not at our best, and really work towards taking those next steps. Right? That I'm not disrespecting her by putting unnecessary pressure on her, but I am going to make my intentions clear. Baby, this is us, and I ain't going nowhere. That's just who I am. Um, I'm a type of individual where I'm a fighter, and I'm very committed. I'm loyal to a fault. I don't want to be able to. I don't give that. It's not to give that to everybody. I got to be better selective on how to do that. And I've been working on that for a long time. So real quick, whoever you are, and wherever you may be, the type of individual that you'll find is somebody who's probably overcommitted, and a person who would make you priority number one. The only thing I can ask is that you have open communications with me, so that way I'm not like some awkward geese looking with blindfolds on, and we respect each other, We don't cheat, and we work from there. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a brother, I'm going to choose you. But in order to have a relationship with you, I need you. You may choose me. Hopefully you do. And in order to have a relationship with me, you need me. There's way too much now with an issue with people. They don't want to say they need each other. They feel like they don't want to need anybody. But I think it's a blessing. I think it's an absolute blessing to have somebody that you can say that you need. And I'm going to need you. If we're going to make this thing work, we need each other. That's relationships. That's what marriage is. People love to talk about love goes away. No, it don't. I'm done with that crap. You can be around somebody long enough and figure out all the things you hate about them. But when you still say, I still only see myself with this individual, you love them. People are always looking for excuses. Excuses. And I'm not a man that makes excuses. I don't want to make them. And I'm not going to make them at all. But I can tell you is that I won't know. So I really do need the help to be able to identify if you're really serious about this. Because how am I supposed to know? Everybody wants you to take the initiative. Yeah, fine, no issue. But do you really want me to take the initiative with somebody who's acting like for crying out loud that like they Buzz Bunny and I'm Elmer Fudd. You know what I'm saying, with the gun. Like, no, I'm good. Like, I think certain times it's fine and okay, but it's who you're taking the initiative with. Consider that. I wish that obviously things didn't have to go um this way. I wish I could still get out if I'm honest. Like, that's not an issue, but like to go through all the drama, like, But everything happens for a reason, right? It's just a plan for the man upstairs, right? You got a plan for everybody if you're a believer. And I've been very blessed to meet the people that I've met so far, who's helped me along the way to spend the actual time with me to identify, like, what at least what they value, um, and how things are, like in their culture. And it's nice to hear. I value the many friendships, the many tutoring I've got, as far as like maintaining those relationships from overseas and going through a whole lot of stuff, whether it be the immigration process and everything else. Um, it's been such a crazy blessing to receive that, and a lot of people see that because they know you're a good dude, and that puts a real big smile on my face. Really do. There's been folks that sit back and they're rooting for you, and they want to see you do well. And they know you're a good person, and they could tell somebody else that ain't all that good. People will watch out for you, and that's a blessing too. I've been blessed enough for a lot of brothers to come to me and let me know that you know relationships are hard, but it ain't all about money, brother. It ain't all about money. People will share me their stories and tell me things that they've been through, money they was making, and people were still cheating, still doing all this other crazy stuff. And you really need to ultimately find somebody who is as committed to you as you're committed to them, right? And if your commitment level is kind of crazy, you're going to be looking for something similar to that, right? Because at the end of the day, you don't want to give forth all the effort and receive nothing back. So it's a teamwork, two-way street, and that's something that you have to have. I'm very, very appreciative because I never in my life thought that this would be a situation that's happening now. And even when it comes to fatherhood, I was told by a friend, an old coworker that was a friend, God rest his soul, good man. And he told me, when it comes to parenthood, nobody's ever ready. You can try to plan for it all you want, read up all the books, whatever else you want, but you're never ready for it. You try to learn as it happens. Um, and that's the best way you can go for it. Just, as long as you got people that's close to you that you rely on to help you out along the way, that's all you can hope for. Just think about it this way. We don't know what the future is going to bring, right? And to make the assumption that you know what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. It's just wrong. So just like parenthood, nobody knows. You just have to make the best decision and determination for yourself and who you're around to help and guide you along the way. And there's been so many different aspects. So when I look at stuff like this passport bro situation, you never know where your God in light is going to be. And so that future that you hope to have with somebody that you dream of, there's certain things that's like inspirations. But I really do wonder. Sometimes you sit back and you think, does it have to be this way? You know what I mean? Um, is that the man's plan upstairs for you? Did it have to be through this process? Would you be able to truly appreciate what's going to happen if you didn't go through all this stuff, right? I don't know. But I do know one thing. This has been a trip. It's been a trip like no other. Um, you gotta look at the hardships. You gotta look at the ups and downs. You gotta hope. You gotta pray. You gotta be grateful. You gotta be humble. Thinking about tomorrow, the future, dreaming. At some point, something has to give. You can't accomplish anything by staying in one place. You can't accomplish anything if you're unwilling to push yourself forward for that tomorrow, for that dream that you have, for that thing that keeps getting you up. If you can manifest that and transform it into a life, something that you're proud of, something that's makes you feel more of a man than what you ever dreamt of. And if somebody ends up giving that to you, do you really need to question anymore about what was then and what's now? You know, there's a lot of doubt that can creep in the mind of a man. It's fear from what you don't know, fear from the unknown. But, I don't know how accepted, you know, uh, a brother of my kind would be. I'm a little bit different now, but I do know one thing. If it wasn't for the different faces, the different stories, the different characters, I probably would not be sitting here like this, having this discussion this way. I would still probably be hoping somewhere and still trying to chase something that isn't worth chasing. A lot of people just want to feel like I'm never get a competition for a woman. Just don't get a competition for anybody. Somebody cares about you, they ain't going to try to have you compete. That time that you could spend competing, you could be spending showing that person a good time. Whenever you get into a situation where it's you and a bunch of other people, just don't do it. Don't do it. A real man ain't going to just all of a sudden start competing with other men because my masculine, my muscle energy, or just because I'm a man in this mind. It's like, nah, be smart. Always choose the one that's watching. I don't know what that future's going to be, man. I really don't know. But I do know this. I can't wait. So I'd rather just set everything up as best as I can and just keep moving day by day by day. Believe, have some faith, and don't be hesitant to give yourself to something more important than yourself because it's all about sacrifice. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We don't know if everything ends tomorrow. And I hope it doesn't, right? There's so much to do, so many people to meet, and somebody I could spend the rest of my life spending, trying to make that person happy, right? Um, it's just a lot. And then probably even after this one, we sit back and reflecting a little bit, wondering if the people I was with didn't slip up, if there wasn't those extra external influences, where would I be? Would I be just like a lot of these other brothers getting hit out of nowhere with this, with the with the divorces? Knowing who I am now, like sometimes you really gotta sit back and be really appreciative of it. You know what I'm saying? Be really appreciative of life and the opportunity that you have. Because there's other people that's just getting hammered right now. And then they can't see what tomorrow is because they're out there committing suicide. You know? If it'd be nice to meet somebody who doesn't pander too much to outside influences and can see the value in you. Man, but real talk though, I'm very, very, very grateful. Very grateful. No more like what I have around me right now is like this freedom of choice. Not only for, let's say, my time and where I put my time at, but my money, just everything. Single brother, no kids, still young. Well, not crazy young, but I'm young, but not crazy. It just depends how you look at it. And no drama associated, no drama, no nothing. Oh man. Um, yeah. But remember, can't nobody make that determination of who you are for you. You have to make that for yourself. Can't nobody tell you who you are but you, because they damn sure ain't spend the time being around you to make sure they get to know you and cater to you and understand those ins and outs of you. And if you find somebody who's been patient and tries to attack things of your character for their own convenience because they want to make you just as miserable as they are, don't worry. Tomorrow's going to come and they'll still be miserable. But you'll be doing hella good for your own self. You know what I'm saying? So sit back, enjoy the ride, believe in yourself, take care, and understand one thing. Don't give it up. Don't give up life. Don't stop living. Stop telling yourselves that you're just going to be alone, right? A real man will find a solution. Apply solutions and you'll get an answer. It may not always work, but you're applying more and more solutions and you're trying. Then you'll get an answer. I believe in you. You need to believe in yourself. I believe in me. Because who else is going to believe in me? I got to, right? That's just how it is. Um, Maybe there's somebody else out there too. And if there is, let me be the first to thank you in advance before I get to thank you in your face. So I want to thank you regardless. Um, Make sure y'all guys take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And I can't wait to see you on the next episode of the Journey Pages podcast, where we're going to talk about the table. Man, that's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one. Take care, guys. Appreciate you. Let's do it.